breaking news. Late night on the West Coast, early morning on the East Coast. The Nets they're no more, at least as they started this season. Kyrie got a win in his Dallas debut, and Kevin Durant is headed to Phoenix. Adrian Wojnarowski joins us now. First, how did it happen?
Kevin, after the Kyrie Irving trade last week, the conversations between Kevin Durant and Joe Tsai, the owner in Brooklyn, Sean Marks, their GM, they started to move toward the idea that if there was a deal that could be done in Phoenix, that Kevin Durant would certainly be open to it, and I think even eager for it. And Matt Ishbia, the new owner in Phoenix, who just was approved last week, he wanted to get Kevin Durant. They tried to do this deal without Mikal Bridges. That wasn't going to happen. And there was back and forth yesterday and then tonight. And there was a thought tonight that maybe they would carry this conversation over to tomorrow. The Suns were looking at some other trades out in the marketplace. But what got it done, Mikal Bridges in this deal, 4 unprotected first-round picks, a pick swap, all going back to the Nets for Kevin Durant. And just a remarkable deal for the Suns. Now they pair Kevin Durant with Devin Booker and certainly Chris Paul. And this is a team in the desert that certainly is going to have some immediate championship aspirations. And finally, the Brooklyn Nets, that great experiment, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, it is finally over. And this is an organization that is ready to hit the reset button. They get back the multiple picks here. But I think Matt Ishbia, the new owner in Phoenix, he wanted to come in and make a splash, and he's done it. Kevin Durant is a Phoenix Sun.
Yeah, that's a cannonball off a very tall building in terms of the splash. And earlier in the show, Woj, we show how jumbled up the West is. And look, part of that's because Phoenix had, an injury to Booker. They're a very different team when he's on the floor. That goes without saying. But now they become a completely different team with Kevin Durant. And I get the Phoenix piece with Ishbia wanting to make a splash, and you do. From Brooklyn's perspective, you called it the great experiment. That's one way to put it. This now is a total redo. They've got all sorts of assets. They acquired a number of players, both in the Kyrie trade and in this one. How are they collectively viewing where they sit now? Not what happened, but where they sit right now.
Yeah, well, certainly it's not a team that is a contender anymore. They wanted to still be a contender around Kevin Durant, but that's over. And so now, you're right, Scott. This is a team that has a lot of good players. Mikal Bridges, one of the best young two-way players in the league, and that was a player the Nets have coveted for some time. Jay Crowder is in this deal. You could expect certainly that Nets may have some conversations with some teams tomorrow. There's great interest in Jay Crowder around the league. The Bucks have been trying to get him for months. Certainly some conversations there, but the Nets still have some time here, the trade deadline, to keep reshaping this. But I think once the Kyrie Irving trade happened, and this was a team that Kevin Durant, I think, was ready to move on from, his eyes had been on Phoenix since his trade request last summer. And I think for Brooklyn to get the kind of return they got on Kevin Durant tonight, and I think knowing that there was an inevitability to this, that if it wasn't now, it would probably be after the season. And I think for the Nets, for Durant, I think the timing was right. But this is, again, for Phoenix, just a chance now to really make a run at a title, especially with Chris Paul certainly at a point in his career where you don't know how much time you have left of him playing at perhaps championship level basketball.
Right, and I think I had written it down. Like it's felt inevitable that this would be the end for Durant with Brooklyn. I assume if you're them, you just think, what's the best get back that we can get here? And this is a decent haul. I mean, not just in players, but the 4 firsts is that's enormous. Is there something else to happen? You mentioned Crowder, and the Nets could entertain calls there. Is there anything else that Ishbia would be trying to make happen here in conjunction with bringing Durant? On its own, it's quite a lot. Is there anything else?
Well, listen, we've got I don't know how many, I don't even know what time it is, Scott. So we've got how many hours till the 3 o'clock trade deadline
I don't
tomorrow?
know, man. You couldn't wait till I was on my drive
13?
home to tweet this, Woj. Honest to God.
Yeah. So there's still time, but Matt Ishbia and his general manager James Jones, they were working through tonight to get this done. This was a deal done very much on the ownership level too. Ishbia, Joe Tsai, the Nets owner, I'm told, there was a back and forth with them that began to start the conversation. And typically you look through NBA history and players of this magnitude to move, those conversations are happening at that ownership level. This did too, but Sean Marks, James Jones stepped in and got this deal done here just in the last 20 minutes, Scott. It literally was just agreed to. But listen, the Suns, they've given up now, again, those 4 first-round picks. This is a team that, I think not just at the buyout deadline, or excuse me, the trade deadline, but when we get into the buyout market, this is a place where players who might become free, get buyouts with their teams, and Phoenix becomes an appealing location. You've got a team, certainly warm weather, and a team poised to make a deep playoff run. So, they'll be, even if they don't get more trades done, are there some veterans that they can pick up here once we get past 3 o'clock tomorrow?
No more tweeting until I'm leaving, okay? I thought we're friends.